During Halloween, pretentious film students talk about the same horror movies over and over again. The Exorcist, Psycho, The Shining. Guys, did you know that Shining above Apollo landing at USA? Look, it says on shirt there is spaceship and you see stars on this shirt. Shut the up. This Halloween, I am not going to be covering those boring boomer Halloween classics. Today, I am going to be talking about an underappreciated Halloween gem called a low-budget horror movie. Okay, so what exactly is a low-budget horror movie? Let's do some investigating. Madison Phillips joined YouTube February 15th, 2010. She uploaded random music clips and stuff like that on her channel, up until her feature debut, a low-budget horror movie. It is a very layered short film commentating on psychopaths and what they do to people and about friendship and all sorts of stuff that I am going to be breaking down in this video. Please go down in the description down below and watch the video first, watch the film first, and get back here once you're done, and then it'll be more clear what I'm talking about in this video. Okay, now that that's out of the way, let's break down the first scene of this classic. Even the title has something to talk about. Okay, what do you notice about the text and the blood in the background? Okay, it blends in. The title is red as well. It's well, kind of like a dark red, but it's still red nonetheless. It kind of blends into the blood. Kind of like how psychopaths blend in, no problem, in everyday life. Like, we have no idea who they are. They are in secret, and that scares me. So immediately the titles just send shiver down my spine. Okay, this first scene is like Shrek. It has a lot of layers, so please bear with me for a minute. The clock is in frame intentionally to represent time. Maddie wants you to think about time. It is very important because later on, Sid actually brings up like how nice Maddie's clock is.
I love your clock, by the way.
Sam is locked out intentionally, and apparently it is super cold. To be precise, it is
7 degrees during the day, like negative 1,268 at night.
I'm no expert, but that sounds pretty cold. Since I don't know anything, I googled it, and apparently hypothermia takes minutes to take in effect. Also considering that Sam does not have a coat or anything while she's outside.
I forgot my coat.
Another great detail about the scene is the Diet Coke can. If you did not know, psychopaths are more likely to enjoy Diet Coke than normal people. So if you know somebody that loves Diet Coke, I would get the out of there. And on the back wall, you see a flower. Now, when you're gardening, a flower is deceptively innocent, right? You know, sometimes they're okay, but then other times where they have thorns, and then when you reach for them, they poke you and you're bleeding a lot. Like, that hurts a lot. And yeah, as you can see, this contrasts well with Maddie, who looks like innocent, nice girl, when in fact, underneath the surface, she's a psycho. This is confirmed with this dialogue right here. Let me replay it.
It's crazy.
A car crashes outside, and what does she do about it? She just smiles and carries on with conversation on the phone. This is the greatest example of show, don't tell. Jordan Peele could learn a lot from Maddie. Gee, that smile looks very familiar. I wonder where I saw that from. The last detail I want to talk about, I think that's the last, I don't know, there's too many things to talk about this movie. The light from the window is very, very strong. People might say like, oh, they just overexposed it a little, but it is actually very intentional. I read the script, and it is supposed to be like a heavenly light show. The outside is very, very nice, pleasant place, and Maddie's dungeon is very dark and sinister. Now it's time for me to break down my favorite scene in the entire movie, the doorbell scene. Maddie hears a knock at the door and she opens it. And what does Sydney do?
Hello? Hey! Hi! Hi, you ring the doorbell.
She rings the doorbell. Now, first viewing, this is a very comedic moment, but actually it is a very sad moment in the film. This is the point in the story where we find out that Sid is a little slow. And it has been scientifically proven that people with lower IQ is easier to manipulate. In fact, I can't believe I forgot about this, but Maddie actually looks off camera for a minute and then raises her eyebrow. There is somebody else in the house, and this has been debated online for a long time, but it's time for put that theory to rest. The person that she is looking at is Sid. The biggest plot twist of the movie is that Sid is actually with Maddie on this prank to lock Sam out of the house. However, that does not make Sid a psychopath because she actually shows concern for her friend being out there in the cold. This may be a stretch, but this is my big brain theory. When Sid says,
Go around to the front. You can go around to the front. Go around to the front, it's unlocked.
I don't think Sid was lying about that. I think she was expecting the front door to actually be open. Do you know who I think sabotaged the front door? Maddie. Because later on, when Maddie checks the door, she says,
And this door is locked. She couldn't have gone in.
Excuse me? Why wouldn't the front door be open? What the Of course, Sid does not challenge Maddie on this point because 1, she's slow, and 2, she is already brainwashed so much by Maddie at this point. It is actually very sad. Time to get my tiny magnifying glass out for this scene because it has very interesting details. One thing that caught my eye was this dog blanket on Sydney's side of the frame. Questions started to pop in my mind like, why would a psychopath want a dog? A dog had a lot of responsibility and psychopaths only care about themselves. And then it hit me. The dog is not real. The dog is Sid in Maddie's eyes, in her point of view. This is what Sid is to her. Sid is just a dog, an obedient little dog to do whatever the she wants. Do these little tricks. Oh, like, do this, get the ball. This scene gets even more creepy when Maddie hurts the dog. How the am I going to sleep tonight? Another detail was this Twilight poster in between Sid and Maddie, which is another brilliant masterpiece about toxic relationships. The last detail in Maddie's room is this monkey, who is holding on for dear life. Since Sid is the dog, the monkey is Sam. She is dying, and Maddie does not give a Throughout the rest of the movie, Sam uses the line,
Front. You can go.
which is referencing the movie Let Me In, which is about a vampire manipulating people into getting blood for her. Oh geez, I wonder who is the bloodsucker in this relationship. Man, there are a lot of references to vampire movies actually. Anyways, Maddie and Sid both hear something and go downstairs to investigate, where they go on about,
Your shoes are gone. These are your shoes.
Yeah.
And that's it. My shoes are in over there.
Maddie clearly wants you to think about shoes, but at first you don't understand why. It seems like a really random thing to focus on. However, after my 10th viewing of this film, it hit me. Walk a mile in someone else's shoes. Something a psychopath would never understand. You stupid psychopaths. Maddie and Sid go out to investigate, and as you can see, Madison is the only one wearing a coat. Probably to protect her vampire skin from the pure light outside. While they investigate, you can hear Sam's final moments before she turns into a ice cube. The final scene of the movie. Viewer discretion is advised. This is very upsetting stuff. Sid and Maddie finally find Sam, but it is too late. I'm sure Maddie is devastated by this. Sam's spirit looks directly at Maddie and tries to attack her, hoping to save Sid from the same fate. Sadly, Sid saves Maddie, rejecting a healthy relationship for a toxic one. The credits roll while Maddie laughs at us one last time.